Tonight on Q2, a crop catastrophe.
What's really priceless to us is the cost of losing a year's worth of data.
Farmers and ranchers in Montana's #1 industry staring at a year of losses after having all their season's growth destroyed in minutes, plus rallying out of the wreckage.
That's what's really holding us up right now.
The shepherd community, despite all their own issues, coming together to aid a family that lost everything. And a winter wonderland in June will take to the skies with the Billings pilot following the storm's path as it moved across the area, dumping more than a half-foot of hail in some places. The MTN 530 News starts right now.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. Cleanup continues in Shepherd as residents try to make sense of the damage left behind from Monday's severe storm. That damage including everything from a toppled house to broken windows and torn off roofs. But many in Montana's #1 industry are also feeling the pain as one research center lost nearly all of its crops. And as our Hannah Pettiferi reports, they're not alone as farmers and ranchers saw a season's worth of hard work ripped to shreds in just minutes.
This is all of the metal. Oh, you're gonna have to go.
This is what remains on Norman Holland's shed. He got a call Monday that it was no longer standing where it always has. Literally blown away in a matter of minutes.
Norman, you realize your machinery shed is gone? It's out in your field.
And not only is his shed gone,
Shepherd got hit the hardest.
this swather was also swallowed by debris. A sight Norman is still trying to process.
I'm just waiting for them to come out and look at it so we can start cleaning up.
But not everything can be cleaned up.
Looks like somebody went through with a lawnmower.
150 acres of what used to be 2 to 3 feet of malt barley is now flat.
That crop out there is probably worth about $100,000. So that's a loss.
You can see what it looks like when it's growing.
Well, it hurts. Yeah, it hurts. It's a real financial loss.
Just down the road, the MSU Agriculture Center of Research in Huntley is also facing the devastation.
There's really nothing, we have no crops left on the station.
Unable to replant.
We'll have no harvest here on station this fall.
Superintendent Kent McVeigh recalls similar damage from a 2019 storm.
We may have as much damage this time as we did then.
McVeigh estimates the storm here caused about $1 million of destruction. 400 acres was wiped out. But he says that pales in comparison to the research and experiments happening here, now lost.
What's really priceless to us is the cost of losing a year's worth of data.
A field day scheduled for Wednesday at the station was canceled because there's nothing to show.
Corn was probably 1.5 feet, 2 foot tall before the storm, and it was just blasted down to the ground.
Back on Holland Ranch, Norman too is now contemplating what's next. He didn't have crop insurance and is now trying to figure out a plan B.
We might put a crop in like sorghum or Sudan grass or something.
In Shepherd, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.
That storm left behind a large area of hail, more than a half-foot in some places, creating a winter scene in June, or at least something that looked like one. Seeing that destruction from the ground is one thing, but a Rocky Mountain College flight coordinator captured the storm's path from above yesterday. Take a look at these photos. These were taken around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, more than 18 hours after the storm had departed. As you can see, just a line of hailstones still on the ground following the storm out of Shepherd and to the southeast. Pilot Lane Chrisman says the scene proves just how devastating weather can be.
I think as pilots, right, we all understand that weather is super ever changing. It can be a huge hazard to us. It's stuff like that. Obviously, we're never flying in that, but it's things like that that really make you realize the true potential of a storm. I mean, dumping 8 inches of hail that lasts through several days is pretty uncommon, at least for me flying. So getting to see that was really interesting, and it was eye-opening to just the sheer power of weather.
Through all the wreckage, the Shepherd community is rallying together in support of one family. The Daltons, who tragically had their trailer home ripped from its foundation and flipped upside down Monday, still trying to piece their lives together. But as our Charlie Kleps reports, it doesn't look like they'll be doing it alone.
The work hasn't stopped.
We were out here for about 10 hours yesterday.
In the aftermath of Monday night's extreme storm, the Dalton family continues to pick up the pieces.
Just kind of digging through the rubble, trying to find our valuables.
While their search has found important sentimental items,
like my grandfather's ashes.
Seeing their scattered belongings and their overturned home is still haunting.
Like every time we come back out here and see the aftermath, it's just like opening the fresh wound all up again.
Things like children's toys, bicycles, the family freezer, and mattresses.
I'm struggling, you know.
Cleaning up the damage here is proving to be an endless process, but thankfully the family is now receiving support from the community with 3 different GoFundMes created in their benefit.
You feel so loved with the support that we're seeing from our family, friends, and the community. It's a lot to take in.
And as the Daltons continue to clean up, those GoFundMe accounts have picked up steam.
We're more than grateful for everything. I mean, we can't thank everybody enough, honestly.
The Daltons say it's support that is shocking considering how devastating the storm was for everyone.
Everything going on and everybody having so much to deal with themselves that it was overwhelming to see how much support and that people wanted to help us.
The family says they don't have access to the funds yet, needing to set up an account at a bank that will honor the funds raised.
Be ideal to throw it in.
Still, the money represents hope.
I think it kind of gives us a little bit of sigh of relief. We hope everyone else that got affected by the storm gets just as much support as we are.
In Shepherd, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
Here's what's going on this afternoon. The relative humidity numbers down into the teens, 20s, where the humidity's been very high, and that's really given rise to these showers and thunderstorms, the severe weather we've been dealing with, and that's true all across the western portion of the United States. But as we get into the next couple of days, well, it's dry now. These blue shaded regions show where there's more moisture returning to eastern Montana for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to talk about the effects coming up.
Now that those severe storms have left, the attention turns to repairing the damage left behind. That often means finding a contractor, but that can be easier said than done. Tonight, our Matt Carmack looks at what to know as those in the business currently have their phones ringing off the hook.
With ice on the ground.
No, it's been historic for sure.
And trees without leaves. It's hard to believe this video was taken in mid-June.
Kind of lucky that the size of the hailstones were reasonably small.
Just like it's hard to believe that ice this small could do this type of damage, and even worse.
It hailed for 20 or 30 minutes straight.
Jeff Greenfield has lived in his Shepherd home for over 40 years. Now that things have settled down, it's time to get things like his house siding fixed.
I was here yesterday, and no less than 8 vehicles driving by dropping off pamphlets.
Jeff said he's hiring a contractor. It's something that lots of southeastern Montanans are looking to do after large storms.
If you don't know the name of the contractor, don't hire him.
But Jeff is warning residents about what to do and what not to do when hiring one.
Jeff says when finding a contractor, his biggest piece of advice is to not let them come to you. Jeff says he prefers it when he already has a pre-existing relationship with his contractor who he knows he can trust.
Like if a whole house is destroyed and you come in as a one-man crew, that might be something to think of.
And along with Jeff's warnings comes Trey Ricketts' advice.
I've had a lot of people here in Hardin come up, a couple in the Pryor area. I just have a feeling it's going to get worse as the insurance adjusters come in.
Trey is the small business owner of Ion Construction. He spent the day looking at damages to this family's home in Hardin after a large storm on Friday.
I just pray for everybody around here.
Trey says it's important for contractors to work alongside homeowners as insurance companies when dealing with property damage like this.
For the most part, I take everything up front and then it comes back on the back end of it.
He also says he covers all the supplies cost up front before even paying the bill. He's available for help this summer in southeast Montana as families recover from the storms. Until then, he says he's got everyone in his prayers.
Pray for the people around eastern Montana right now. It's devastating.
In Hardin, Matt Carmack, MTN News.
The Billings Airport is looking a little bit different right now, paying homage to a favorite Treasure State place and pastime. Take a look at this. A new 30-foot-long map of the Bighorn River now dawns Concourse A. That map, laser engraved out of wood, was created by local artist Dan Mazel of Stonefly Studio. Provides a unique view of the river, which is, of course, a favorite place for fly fishing. Mazel turned his hobby into a business 5 years ago after making his son a new fly box. They've now created designs for more than 700 maps.
I'm excited. I love it. I mean, it's an accomplishment, but it's something that I was hopeful that we could pull off, and it happened.
Mazel calls this piece a permanent loan to the Billings Airport, with the design set to stay up for at least 5 years.